Hello and welcome to the Renee Report. While we are at work today, NBA executives leaked an absolute bombshell that Ja Morant could be the next superstar out of town. And let's get right into it. Ja Morant is coming off of a season where he certainly had plenty of off-court issues. Since then, we haven't heard any of that issue. We have seen his minutes reduced a little bit. He only gets 28 minutes per game, and he is in a bit of a scoring slump, only getting 20 points per game as well. That being said, the Memphis Grizzlies have been nothing but successful. They're the third best team in the NBA at home, with an amazing record. They're second best in a stacked Western Conference, and they've more than outperformed their expectations at a record of 36-18. So let's break down the timing of this, what this could mean, and how this could become possible right now. Okay, if the playoffs started today as the second seed, they would be playing the Minnesota Timberwolves. And I think this is a matchup that is super scary for the Memphis Grizzlies. The Timberwolves have the athleticism to deal with the Grizzlies and Ja Morant. They have a big man to deal with Zach Edey and Jaren Jackson and Rudy Gobert. And they have Anthony Edwards, who is a bigger star than Ja Morant at this point in the NBA. I don't know how that playoff series would go, and obviously there's so much time left in the season. Let's assume they're not going to end up playing each other, but I think this would be a really scary matchup. Now let's get into why I believe this was leaked and why people are starting to think moves like this are possible. Ja Morant has been on the Grizzlies for his 6th season now, and like we said, he's certainly had his ups and downs. Well, just seeing the Luka Doncic trade happen out of absolutely thin air, there's going to start to be more rumors swirling anytime there's a superstar that might not be agreeing with management. They might be performing well, but they might be a bit of a headache and someone that in the shadows, an executive or a general manager or an owner might be shopping around the idea of what could we get back for Ja Morant. So naturally, that brings the question, what exactly would they get in return for a talent the level of a Ja Morant? Ja Morant is having a season career low in assists per game, rebounds per game, shooting percentage per game, and points per game this season. A lot of that has to do with better players around him. The Grizzlies play very good team ball. They have great players in Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, Edey, GG Jackson. The list goes on and on. So in reality, he's actually reducing his minutes, but still making a massive impact in the minutes he plays, and is obviously the guy they look to seal any game at any point in time. And there's no question what Ja Morant brings to your franchise. He gets asses in seats. He is somebody like a Zion who's going to make amazing plays on a nightly basis. Now, he has come out and said he doesn't want to dunk quite as much, and he knows the impact that can have on his body. We've heard Anthony Edwards bring this up before. Someone as explosive as Ja Morant or Anthony Edwards can't be naive to the fact of the impact that could have on their body for the rest of their life. So he has to find other ways to be effective. But he's not a shooter. He's shooting his best career percentage from three-point percentage, and that's 32%. It's not going to get it done, and it's not going to be a way that he's successful. The way that Ja Morant continues to improve and grow his stardom is to become an amazing passer, to become a facilitator that drives in, doesn't always get the dunks, but leads to open shooters, which he still does fantastic right now at 7 assists per game. If we're looking at what we believe the Grizzlies would get in return, he is on a massive $200 million contract. With the flight risks he has on top of it, there is some risk to mitigate for a franchise that takes him in as their superstar. So I see him fitting more in a Toronto, in a Indiana, with the Bulls who are craving a next superstar, the Brooklyn Nets, a team that he is going to have to grow with. He's going to become the superstar of and the face of their franchise. Ja Morant is not going anywhere to not be the face of a franchise. I don't see him as a second or third piece to a team. I don't see him joining some super team, and I could be very wrong on that. But I think if they were to get rid of him, it would be to the highest bidder. It would be to a team, again, craving a superstar they don't think they have the ability to draft or land in free agency, so probably going to another small market. Every single time Ja Morant has been healthy, the Memphis Grizzlies have exceeded expectations, played out of their mind, finished in the top 4 of the Western Conference, which, as we know, is absolutely loaded. I think this report is probably bullshit. Executives probably trying to stir the pot, see if there's any truth to the matter, and if they can get the Grizzlies shaking in their boots. But who's shaking in their boots when they're 36-18? I wouldn't assume anybody. Unless there's more rumblings behind the scenes that we don't see, disagreements, habits that aren't being met, and expectations that they don't feel Ja Morant is delivering on, I can't see this being realistic, as everybody in Memphis absolutely loves this guy. He means so much to the city. This is a small market team, and the Memphis Grizzlies are going to see the impact that losing Luka Doncic is having for the Dallas Mavericks. To follow up that act doesn't feel like a smart decision. I'm curious who you guys think they could get in return for Ja Morant. Do you think these reports being leaked by executives are real or fugazi? Would you hold on to Ja Morant, or do you think that he's not someone who's built for winning? And do you believe that the Grizzlies could fall flat in the playoffs this year and not make a deep run? Curious on all your thoughts on that down below. This is Carson with the Renee Report. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe down below. And I'm out. Peace.